weight about 3 pounds. Also where the term name brand comes from. Piscataway's best kept unintended secret.
Who knows where the tune of the Star Spangled Banner comes from? No. We got a bunch of ringers here. Who know all the answers. Francis Scott Key only wrote the words to our national anthem. He did not write the tune. From a men's club in London.
Can we come to
We do it? Yeah.
Darn close. Yeah.
I want some popcorn.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome. You have now discovered Piscataway's best kept unintended secret. I can't tell you the number of times we have people coming in.
Now, for those of you standing patiently waiting to learn more things about blacksmithing, one of the fun things is you're about to learn the origin of the phrase, brand new. Fresh from the fire, because when you put things in fire, it strips off the rust. So this is nice and brand new. Fun. Because of course, let's pretend for a second we're all cattle ranchers from around 200 years ago. How do we know your cow's your cow, not my cow or his cow? Well, we'll take your name, we'll heat it up, and we'll brand it. That's your name brand. It's all branded, and it all comes back to fire.
you sit there and go, and it makes it separate. You know, yes, you would have you go in here, and then you liquid in here, and then you go up and down. But you have to be very like aggressive with it, otherwise you're just gonna have the milk there, and it's gonna be like a little frothy. But first it gets to like a whipped cream kind of consistency. But if you keep on like working at it and twisting it, it will get thicker and thicker, and then it will start to separate the water from the butterfat. And so right now we have the buttermilk actually in here. I just got scraped off the layer of it, but this really good for baking. And this right here is the butter. And if you want to like clarify it a little bit more, you can like run it underneath some cold water while like pressing it together, and until like the water runs a little bit clear. But on its own, it's perfectly fine, and it's really tasty. Very creamy. But if you want, you can like look.
Do you want to touch this with us?
On the inside of how, like you see, and then when you would turn it, it would mix it. You can also do this with a whisk.
Any questions?
And over here we have some other rugs. There's a kitty couple, and this is called traditional rug hooking.
Can we make one?
You want to make? We don't have ones for you to make. You know, I can show you how we do it. We take a piece of this, and I hold this under here, and I stick the hook in. Wait a second, here, and I pull it out, and then I go in and I hold it, and I bring up a little loop, and another loop.
Because I went to school in Jersey.
And this is how
you
make them, just making little loops.
this, you want to turn the ambiance.
Yes, you're turning the ambiance.
Other homes may have had a bar, a wooden bar across. But they had enough money to pay the blacksmith to put in the crane. So that allows you to move this out and you can add and subtract and stir whatever and slide it back over the fire. So it's very handy to have something like that.
And it would hang there and people would cook.
Sure, absolutely. Plus you use the whole stone area as different stoves too. So you take some of the wood just like we did out at the pit. You take some of the hot wood and you move it to an area, and my pots have legs to them. Mm-hmm. So you'd set them over the top and to heat them up, and just like you would on your own stove. Okay. And you can make as many piles as you want to. So you're not limited to 4. You can make 5, 6, 7 if you have enough pots. Absolutely.
And would they typically have a shelf up here over it?
Oh, absolutely. It was very common to have a shelf and a mantle over it. So you could store things. They didn't have cupboards, so they just stored things.
They utilized every square bit of wall space.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. And it's not that they had anything against cupboards, it just wasn't the style.
right.
The style was to do it this way.
So this way.
That's what you did.
Well, everything is just right there, right?
Right, and it's very handy. And
Yep.
when you're done using it, you clean it and put it right back. And there's no waiting time, so you do it right away. And so there's really no need to have any place to tuck it away. It's not like we have, today we have things we use for this or that. There's stuff they used every day, all the time.
Right.
So it didn't need to be tucked too far away.
Right, because you're constantly using the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, how about that little arched way?
So over here or down here?
Both.
Well, so this is a beehive oven, and beehive ovens have been used for centuries. And not all of them are in a home. Sometimes they're outside a home. And that was their baking. So you can cook in a bake kettle like this, but that was for, on a farm, a mom would have to make 30 to 40 loaves of bread for 1 week. So she would put her logs in there and start the fire until it was hot enough, and then she'd use the rake to pull all the wood out and spend the rest of the day baking in there. So she'd bake her 30 loaves, right, because it's a brick, so it takes about that long for the bricks to get that hot. And then they hold the heat for a long time. So you would cook all your bread, your cakes, your cookies, anything you were interested in baking for the day. So you do that and that would last.
Pizza, right?
Right. Right. I tease the kids that they didn't know about pizza then. So no pizza for them.
And then the bottom?
The bottom area, you would have, I don't have one, you'd have a dough box that would fit in there, because that would also be warmed from the heat above. And so it gives you a draft-free place to put your dough while it's rising.
Okay.
So you'd have a box that fits in that space. Since we don't have a box, I have a basket of pine cones. It looks nice down there.
It does. Earthy.
Earthy, there you go. Exactly right. The iron plate in the back is for also keeping heat and protecting the brick. At nighttime, you would take your logs and push them up against the hot plate and try to make it as small a piece as you could. And the reason being, because when you're asleep, you want to not have the house burned down. So you pile it up and you let the fire drop. And then in the morning, hopefully, you use your tools to pull it apart a little, use your bellows, add a little air to it. Hopefully that would be enough to rise your fire once again. So you wouldn't have to start with a brand new fire every morning. That does take a little bit of time, and you really don't want to have to do that.
Right.
These are our food for the staff that we've done today, our cooking demonstrations. So we have apples and onions. We have a mushroom onion with cream sauce. This is baked beans. For whatever reason, I have soupy beans today. My very first time I ever had soupy beans. I've made baked beans tons of times, and this one decided to be different. This is garden pea soup over on the end. And over there I've got some homemade bread, some goulash, and roasted chicken that we roasted on our tin kitchen.
Wow.
So those would be very common things for them to have.
Nice. And it's bread in there? Pieces of bread?
That bread was often used in their soups as thickeners.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think, Al?
Looks
Yum.
yummy, right?
You'll have to look up some old-fashioned recipes yourself. And interesting, back when you go back that far, they didn't call them recipes. They called them receipts.
Oh, that's right.
Really? Yep.
That's right. I've seen that.
Yep.
Receipts.
Receipts.
Cool.
The good thing is that there are people who have actually tried out them and made the versions to modern times. So you don't have to try to figure out what they meant when they said. A lot of things will be to your liking.
Yeah.
Well, that does not help.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I remember, I just thought of it when I was her age. I got a colonial cookbook.
As a staff member, do you think I can?
I've been told no.
No.
I've been told, I'm sorry.
That's
I really
okay.
have. I've been told
Even
no.
as staff?
I can only give it to the people who work at the village.
Oh, at the
Period.
village. I get it.
At the village.
No, that's okay. We won't push.
We really hate to lose my opportunity.
Oh, no, no, no.
to be here.
No. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. Don't worry. Pretty beautiful, right?
We live in the state of New Jersey because we're the only state without a time clock.
Yeah.
We're the only one.
Yeah, we can go.
We can go across to Delaware and you can get samples of food.
How funny.
No, you're pretty strict. Yeah.
We're the only of the 50 states, 51 if you include.
This is beautiful. You guys did a beautiful job. Thank you.
Hello, you can come in.
This direction, there we go, sorry.
Right now we have some military ECUs for the we have the beer guns from 10 this time.
What do I do?
When you put the ACUs, you just run like how easy it is.
So we'll
That's how you drill a hole in a rock. So if you have that pesky boulder in your front yard you're going to get rid of, send them out here with this. Well, create a few holes. Let's see how you did.
Let's see, now you gotta check how much dust you pull out. You kinda like scoop the stuff out of there.
Exactly. That's a bit.
I can't do that. I can't do it too long, so
Right. No one writes script anymore. I want to give it a whirl with the ink, so we have the old-fashioned ink blotter. So you can write your name, you can write USA, you can write French.
Je m'appelle Blanche. Back to my college.
Not bad, right? There you go. Oh, good luck. Merci. Yeah. I like it.
Total of 8 men, in addition to the 5 on the gun crew, have 4 men on each side to move the gun forward or back as commanded by the gun commander. And they typically would be armed with muskets, and they would also have together in one round. So just like we load here, you'd load it, powder ball and all, and ram it down. Otherwise, you'd have to put the powder in first, put a wad on top, and ram the powder down, then put the ball in, then ram the ball down, seat the ball on top with a wad on top of it. So it made it much faster for loading. This gun did not fire anything that exploded out in the field. Only fired solid devices like the 3-pound cannonball or the canister shot. This can would hold 32 musket balls, about 1 1/4 ounces per ball. They'd be lead balls. The total weight about 3 pounds. So when you fired this, it's like a shotgun shell for a cannon. You would fire out, and those 34 balls or 32 balls would go out and expand and hit the enemy, generally 300 to 500 yards out. Anything further than that, it's a waste of the ammunition. You need to be using solid shot. Okay, we're going to go through loading and firing 2 rounds. So this time it's going to be locked. Have a care. Clear. Make ready! Fire! Clear!
That is a humongous fire.
Make ready! Fire! Once we have
Smells good. Wow.
welcome to the area of black powder.
Ideally, they're all going to blow off.
Fire!
That's nice.
Today is the Brown Best. This is actually the new model short land pattern musket. So what does that imply? This is the short one, the older ones were longer. So it's a flintlock ignition system. That means that this is actually a piece of sharpened flint stone. You've heard of making fire with flint and steel. This flint strikes this steel, hopefully makes a spark. Hopefully that'll set off the prime charge that you will see in this pan. Flashes through the little hole in the side of the barrel. Again, we're with the holes in the barrel. Set off the main charge to send the projectile down range. Alright? I will load 1 round, what we call by the numbers. Standing here facing you, I will turn, face in that direction, and fire. I will then load and fire 2 more rounds as quickly as I can. As you heard the gentleman say, a good musket man should, and I'm joined, good. Better chance one of us will go off. A good musket man should be able to load and fire at least 3 times a minute. Don't count on seeing that today, but we'll do the best we can. So first command would be prepare to prime and load. You bring half cock, the pan's open, and the cartridge. Take out a cartridge. Bite the end off. Prime. Pour a little gunpowder in the prime pan. Shut pan. Cast it back. Bring the musket around. Charge with cartridge. Pour the gunpowder down the barrel. You would then put ball, paper, and everything down the barrel. Draw a rammer. Ram down cartridge. Make sure it's well seated on the powder. Return rammer. Shoulder fire locks. Right about face.